Hey guys, so I've been married to a Ghanaian for over 25 years. During that time, of course, I've learned lots of things about Ghana and Ghanaians as well. So today I'm going to share with you just 10 things that you should know about Ghana or Ghanaians. So let's get into this video. When you go to Ghana, it's best to have no expectations whatsoever. Whether it's your first time, second time, 100th time, whether you've come and gone many times, just have no expectations because you cannot imagine what that trip's going to be like. It can go in many different directions. Mostly it goes beautifully. Some of the struggles, of course, is light off and, some other things that are annoying, like water's not running or what have you. You could go to a trip and you have none of those problems, and then one day you go and you have all of those problems. So go with no expectations. That way, you just take everything in your stride. Remember why you're there, for the sunshine, for the good food. That's why you're in Ghana. Always try to greet people before you get into a conversation. That's something I learned a little bit later. It's not like what you get in the UK or in the Western world. Greeting is really important. Having that rapport at the beginning actually makes a big difference in the next part of your conversation. So try to greet, whether it be the fact that you're walking into a shop, into a salon, or into an establishment. Always greet, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, before you actually ask a question or, make a statement. That would be something that I would do. Another good time to greet would be if you're actually walking around in your neighborhood and someone's walking one way or you're walking the other way. Don't just look down and move on, especially your elders. Have a look at them, say to them, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. They will, of course, do the same. And it's a really great way to get to know the neighborhood and, of course, all of your neighbors in the area. Respect in Ghana is something that needs to be sought after, especially if you move in there. I think it's really important that you actually learn to give as much respect to others where you can, especially your elders. Again, do not give anything with your left hand to anyone. Okay, that's really looked down upon and it's frowned upon. So if you're going to give something to someone or collect something, make sure you use your right hand in Ghana. In Ghana, they don't throw insults nilly-willy. They don't just go and throw an insult as a joke. It's not something that's done, it's not common, especially with doing it to the elders. That would be classed as very disrespectful and very rude. So don't be throwing jokes like silly or stupid or, doing things like that. It will not go down very well. In Ghana, the word for silly or stupid is kwasia, and that is a really big offensive word. So you don't want to really be using that word or any word that could be offensive to someone else. So again, don't throw jokes like that, especially when it's with the elders. In the UK, you might be used to doing things like kissing your teeth, rolling your eyes, or shaking your head and making funny gestures. In Ghana, that's a disrespectful thing to do. Kissing your teeth, rolling your eyes, especially to an elder again, would not be something you can do in Ghana. You would be a disrespectful person if you did that in Ghana, so avoid at all costs. If you're someone moving to Ghana, or maybe even married or getting married to a Ghanaian, you've got to learn very quickly not to argue with the elders. Make sure that you keep the peace. If the elders are not happy, or if they say you've done something wrong, it's best to just apologize. Do not argue, let the story go, and then that way you will not be seen as a disrespectful person or as an arrogant or rude person. These types of people are not looked upon favorably. Do not fight in the streets. Do not raise your voice or argue loudly. This will not get you anywhere. For example, if you're in an establishment, whether it be a restaurant, whether you're in a salon, whatever it might be, raising your voice and shouting doesn't get you any further in Ghana from what you're trying to achieve. You will not be heard. If anything, you'll get less of the outcome you want if you raise your voice, if you shout, and if you start waving your arms around and screaming. That doesn't go down too well in Ghana. You'll be looked upon as a mad person, a crazy person, an uncivilized person, and you don't want to be seen as one of those people. Ghana, most things are dealt with in a calm manner, and it's best to listen and respond nicely, quietly, making your point heard without screaming or shouting. They don't do what we see a lot of in the West, which is, you can just start shouting and swearing if you walk in or somebody doesn't give you the right food, or, you just start yelling at the next person. That doesn't really happen in Ghana. If you want to get what you need done, the best way to approach it is calmly. Don't shout, don't scream, don't wave your arms around. don't swear, don't do these things in the street especially, because you won't be attended to. And in fact, you'll be further away from what you're trying to achieve. Deal with these things calmly, speak to the other person calmly, and try and put your point forward calmly. Even if it takes a few attempts, you can talk as long as you need to get what you need done or to come to a resolution. But shouting and screaming and waving your arms around is just not going to help you at all. So avoid it at all costs. So I've come to accept that Ghanaians will never, ever, ever, ever be on time. And that's now okay with me. I've learned that there's nothing you could do about it. Don't get worked up, don't get upset about it, and don't be offended. If you find that you're here, whether you're visiting or whether you're looking to stay, start to get used to or start to understand that Ghanaians will be late. It's the norm there in Ghana for people to be late. They will be late and it's casual. They'll come in as if they're not even late. You may not even get an apology if they're late. So don't worry about it. Just make sure you've accounted for time for everybody to turn up late. People could be as late as half hour, an hour, or even 2 hours late. So just keep that in mind and don't be offended. Otherwise, you'll just ruin your day and it's really not worth it. A couple of things you should definitely do when you're in Ghana: always negotiate. Doesn't matter where you are, if you're purchasing something or if you're buying a service, make sure that you negotiate. Negotiate, 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 negotiate every single time. The only time you don't negotiate, of course, is if you go into a supermarket like Malcolm's or ShopRite, or China Mall. They've got prices on the shelves. That's the way it works. But if you're out and about, whatever you're trying to do, push to negotiate and make sure you push to get your best price. If you're going in and buying something in particular, go in at half the rate they quote and then work your way to somewhere in the middle. If you're trying to get to the halfway price, then go in a little bit lower. But definitely don't take the first price that is offered to you. And don't be afraid to negotiate. A lot of people feel embarrassed or shy or feel that it's inappropriate to negotiate. It's normal in Ghana. You've got to negotiate to get the best rate and to get the best price of what you're trying to purchase. Something I realized in Ghana much later on that I'd love to share with you guys. I used to always take repellent with me to Ghana, always taking a mosquito repellent. And there are mosquitoes, of course, in Ghana because it's a hot climate and you're going to get mosquitoes. Make sure you use repellent, but when you do use repellent, know that it's okay sometimes to try the Ghanaian repellent product. I'm going to put it here on the screen so you can see it. The Ghanaian mosquito repellent actually feels so much nicer on my skin. It doesn't smell of chemicals or a bad harsh scent. It feels smooth on my skin and it does the job brilliantly. I've used it once in the evening. I don't even top up and it works. And I found out about it because I forgot one time to buy repellent when I was going to Ghana and I was really worried about it because I'm used to using my one, which I buy from the UK, which I felt was a trusted product, which it is, but it did not work as well as the Ghanaian product. So I now don't even bother buying repellent. Whenever I go to Ghana, I buy the one they have on the shelf. And I'll be honest with you, it's actually so much cheaper and much more effective for me. So give it a try, see if it works for you. There's also the coil. If you are in Ghana and you're sitting outside, put the coil out. That works brilliantly as well. The mosquitoes don't surround the area when you put out the coil. So if you are someone who gets bit a lot and you'd want to avoid getting mosquito bites, try out the Ghana mosquito repellent and don't forget to buy the coil. Now, let's talk about transportation for a moment. So in Ghana, I'm always using the Bolt or I'm using the Uber. I've realized that there are surcharges sometimes on one or the other of the services there. So I always have both of the apps downloaded on my phone and I will use both depending on which one's offering me the best rate at the time. So definitely use Bolt and also download Uber. These both can be used in Ghana and they're very, very effective as well. While you're actually on the apps, make sure that you have an understanding a little bit on landmarks. You're going to need to know more about landmarks as opposed to road names in Ghana. That's really going to help you to identify where you're trying to get to and also help you with remembering where you're at as well. Speaking of downloads, make sure that you've got WhatsApp as well on your phone. WhatsApp is widely used in Ghana. It's so common and it's the easiest way to actually communicate. And with that said, you're going to need Wi-Fi. So ensure that you've got Wi-Fi, which is really, really important. I don't know how I would live without Wi-Fi in Ghana. Now, I've just shared very, very few with you today, but of course there are many, many, many more. So if you think there's any very important ones that I might have missed, just leave a note in the comments and let me know what they are. But I do want to say a big thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful and catch you on the next video. A big thank you to everybody who supported me in the last video of where I got scammed. It does happen, unfortunately. It doesn't take away the beauty of Ghana and its people. The majority of the people there are absolutely beautiful people. So don't let that put you off. But of course, if you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. And I want to say thank you to everybody that also gave me good tips and supported me in the comments.